You are beatable, Captain. It's been proven.
If you're so right, then what am I doing here? Why do I still wear the uniform? War's not over yet, motherfucker.
You should be working with me. In fact, I will give you $30 million if you open these doors.
I will have you flown to the country of your choosing, where you can live the rest of your life in luxury.
If anyone has earned the right to walk away from this, it's you.
$30 million. I mean, what did the Army ever give you? Your depressing old job in the middle of nowhere, where they can forget about you?
They don't care about you. Open these doors. Take back your power. That's how you win a war.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Citizen Frame. I'm Ciaran, your host. And joining me is the usual misfit, Trevor.
Hello there. As always, great to be here.
Again, keep lying.
Well, considering the film we're about to... Oh, fuck, we'll get to it.
No, it's okay. This movie is getting pissed on. Listen, we decided to pepper this one in. We do got dog soldiers coming. We apologize for the delay on that one. But we wanted to pepper this one. I wanted to pepper it in because I think it'd be fun to tackle Netflix films. And Netflix gets a bum rap for a lot of their films. And don't get me wrong, most of it's warranted.
Yeah.
But they're in bed with some big A-list actors, including Charlize Theron. She's got The Old Guard, and they got a sequel to that coming out. And Jake Gyllenhaal's got a couple films under their belt with him. And Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth's got Extraction series come. The first one's out. Now the new one's coming. I liked Extraction. I thought that was a cool film. So I'm looking forward to the sequel. But the reason I bring up Chris Hemsworth is because his wife, Elsa Pataky, hasn't done much, but she's an actress. But obviously Chris Hemsworth is the bigger name. So when he signed a multi-million-dollar contract with Netflix, he clearly put in the fine print, give my wife a leading role. And this is why we're here to talk Interceptor with Elsa Pataky. And, I got up Saturday morning, didn't know it was coming out. I was like, what is this shit? And I watched it, had my cup of coffee, had my toast, and I watched it. And the reason I asked it to be on this podcast, because I fucking enjoy it. And so I told Trevor, I just watched this Interceptor. Steer me in the right direction. Just keep your opinions to yourself. Just watch it, and we'll put it on the podcast. Because I knew it was getting 4.4, I think, on IMDb.
That's a fucking generous 4.4, I would say. But anyway.
So this is where the argument might begin. Let's talk Interceptor. Now, the nice thing about this was written and directed by a man called Matthew Riley. And the cool thing is, he's actually the author. He's obviously a best-selling author. He's kind of like Tom Clancy. He does a lot of that kind of, war and espionage and terrorist attacks and stuff like that, So he's got Tom Clancy style. He's a best-selling author. And it's different to see him taking, first time directing, which we can clearly see it's the first time directing. But I kind of like that. The author Stephen King did it.
William Peter Blatty did it.
Yeah, he did it very well, too, with Legion. So there's some success stories there. I like Maximum Overdrive. I'm probably the only one who has. It's pretty much a Stephen King film on cocaine.
Yes, I was just about to say he was off his head the entire time, by his own admission.
I think that probably made the film good.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever see Creepshow? I know this is a bit of an aside, but do you ever see the segment of Creepshow starring King?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly on
It was the
something
worst
there.
one.
Yeah,
It was the worst one.
yeah.
It's bad. We talk, and it's like a broken record about 80s cheese. Schwarzenegger in general. And this is 80s cheese. This is what this film tries to be. It's Die Hard, mainly more Under Siege, I would say.
Yep.
And she kind of replaces Steven Seagal. But let me give you the premise of the film. And if you haven't seen it, we are going to be spoiling it. But trust me, guys,
There's not much to say.
not much really to spoil. But I'm going to defend it quite a bit. All right.
Okay.
So the concept of the film, which I rather enjoy, is the fact that you have two set bases, two missile bases within the United States. One is based in Alaska, and the other is in the middle of the Pacific. And what their job is to do is, if there is a nuclear crisis or somebody shoots at us, primarily China and Russia, it takes 24 minutes for those missiles to hit U.S. soil. We have 12 minutes to intercept those. So 12 minutes from launch, we have these two bases that will launch missiles and destroy the nuclear missiles. I like that concept. I like the opening where you see Fort Greely, I believe it's called. It's under attack. I do think the movie's short. They could have played more on that. I would like to have seen an opening scene with them being ambushed and taken over. I thought that would have been neat.
Well, you say the movie's short. I mean, what is it, like an hour and 45 minutes? It felt like about 7 hours to me.
No, it's about 93 minutes.
Right, well, yeah. Felt longer.
But the opening scene was kind of cool, and what they did was they showed Fort Greely being under attack during the credits. Kind of a cheat, but a lot of movies do that these days to cut back on budget reasons. But I like the concept. These things are called Interceptor bases, and that's why the film's called Interceptor. Now, let's just jump into this, and let's just talk about acting.
What? Sorry, was acting going on here? Could have fooled me.
You had you had Luke Bracey, Elsa Pataki. Luke Bracey's the bad guy. He plays Alexander Jessel. And then you've got Colonel Shaw and Beaver. Beaver, what a horrible name.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the acting made Steven Seagal look like fucking Sir Laurence Olivier. Yeah, it was wooden, to say the least.
Yeah, there's some bad writing here, considering it's from an best-selling author.
Just because he's a best-selling author doesn't make him a good one. However, that said, I cannot comment because I've never read any of his novels. So, benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of street cred, so you got to give him. Yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due. But what I didn't get, I'll give you an example. Collins, that's Pataki, she's the lead.
Yes.
She has been blacklisted from the military because she narked on a high-ranking official for grabbing her ass and trying to have yum-yum time.
Yes, he was basically.
So she's been black. But sadly so, they probably would do this to her. Even, by today's standards, they'll still do it. But she gets put into this basic babysitting job of one of these bases, the one in the Pacific.
She basically gets excommunicated.
Exactly. The problem I have with the opening was that they have this meet and greet from inside Washington. She's just one of the local, one of the helpers on the carrier, on the base, that is. And she's just there just to do data dump. All the girls here in the military want to thank you for sticking up for us. We've been through what you've been through.
Yes.
And I can see you're from Spain originally because Elsa Pataki she's from she's Spanish.
Yes.
So she's got the Spanish accent. So they seem to have this one actress come in and data dump everything we need to know about her.
Every single line in this script is basically an exposition dump. It's instead of it's all tell and no show. Although, yeah, well, obviously,
now that's
it's both.
I will
but
halfway.
it should be show and not tell, and it is both. It's just like everything is laid out. Oh, and next thing there's going to be a bomb, and the bad guy says, "Oh, and I'm going to explode a bomb, and I'm going to reveal my dastardly plan and details because we think that all of the viewers are dumb as fuck. So we have to we're going to patronize him and spell everything out." That's
well,
basically
they do that in Bond films.
I know that there, but they get away with it because Bond is charming and charismatic, and it's tongue in cheek. And this is it has no charm or charisma like the likes of Bond or Die Hard or Has or Arnie film. I mean, Arnie Schwarzenegger, he can't act for shit, but he has an amazing presence and great charisma, and that's how he gets away with it.
Arnie can act. He's done a lot of films, especially after his.
He's improved over the years, but even whenever
he's improved.
Yeah, but even whenever
he's improved quite a bit. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, but here's what works, and I'm now, the story is quite simplified. Don't get me wrong. All right, so you got this asshole rich brat who is going to. They've already destroyed Greeley. Now they're going to take down this base, and in order for that, because the splitter group from Russia have stolen these nuclear missiles and they're going to fire on the U.S. and they need to shut down this base in order for this to happen, to go smoothly. And he's getting paid a lot of money to do this. Mm-hmm. That's the plot. There you go.
Yes.
And she's in this room protecting it while these two are trying to, you got 15 minutes and they're...
It's a base under siege.
Yeah, they're trying to cut through these two doors before the U.S. military shows up in 90 minutes. Now
it's a bit of there's quite a bit of attempts at commentary on the current political climate in America. However, it's as if it's political sort of commentary done by a teenage TikToker. And there's no nuance, there's no depth. It's very simplified and skewed.
It is simplified, but I think that was by choice. Like I said, this guy's whether you read him or not, I don't read his stuff, so I'm not judging him.
Yes.
But he's obviously got some talent. Mm-hmm. So I think he had to take his book and dumb it down. But I think his book's probably a lot smarter than what we're seeing. But I think that was deliberate. And that's why I'm giving some of this a pass. Because you can't have a guy of this caliber and have this kind of history with his writing and you can't. And come off of this. This is something I would write.
I'm going to have to reserve judgment on his novels because I have never read any of them.
But you have to be.
But no. I'm going to critique this script based on its own merits, and it feels like it's written by some sort of social media teenage influencer. It is. I'm fucking holding back here because this is fucking, it's dumb as fuck. So it is.
Oh, it's not a smart man's movie, and like I said, I don't think that's the point. I think they just wanted people to have fun, and so yes, they did dumb it down. That's why you have all these exposés, and you have all. I'll give you an example. But what works? I'm telling you now, the fight sequences are awesome. The fight sequence she has with the one.
They're not bad.
The guy, the big dude, and she's a little fucking ninja. She fucking kicks this guy's ass.
You just said it there. She's about 4'0", and he's about a trained killer. He's about 7'8", and she kicks his ass.
No. First of all, that size doesn't matter in this case. It's because she's obviously
she also beats up a martial arts guy.
She was getting her ass. She was losing. Mm-hmm. Then she knows how to take apart the gun. Mm-hmm. And then she sticks it in his eye.
Well, that's probably the coolest bit in the entire film, the gun in the eye bit.
No, because I like the fight she has with the woman too. That was badass.
Yeah, that was probably the best choreographed and most believable one.
But at the end of the day, there's some fun action here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there going, "Hey, this is the new Hunt for October," because it's not. But I like when the Ninja Man comes up when he breaks open through the door.
She beat the shit out of him as well.
But she's trained too. So is he. He's not. It's still a decent little fight, and she takes her hits. She breaks her arm with that one. And she's not coming out squeaky clean.
Yeah.
And then I like how she uses the fridge to fight back. I thought that was cool. And then the shotgun blast, when she finally shoots him with the shotgun, the recoil pushes her to go fly backwards because she is tiny. So it showed that kind of stuff. I think people are missing it because what you said, Trevor, and you're not wrong. I agree with you, Trevor, you're not wrong. It's stupid.
Yeah. But
But what's wrong with that?
because you know what? See, this is the thing. I love my stupid films, my stupid sort of action films starring the likes of Stallone. We know what did Cobra, and also especially Arnie, and even Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren and stuff. I was never big into Steven Seagal, but the thing is with those types of films, the 80s cheese as we call it. They're great fun because their tongue is firmly planted in their cheek. Even James Bond, maybe not the Craig films or the Dalton films, but their tongues are always firmly planted in their cheek, and there's a lot of charisma and charm going on, and you're on board with them. They don't have that here, and I think it comes down to several factors. It's just I didn't really feel on board with it. Being completely fair and honest, it felt like a sort of an effort at a Die Hard type 80s action cheese fest, but it fell flat. It just didn't work, and I think I have to say the lead is she's a bit of a charisma vacuum, and her line delivery. In fact, the line delivery throughout is awful. I mean, she tried to. There's a few attempts at one-liners that just fall completely flat. And a lot of that is down to the delivery by her. I mean, I don't know the woman. I've absolutely nothing against her personally, but from the point of view of this film and her performance in it, I mean, it's not good. So it's not. The best one in it is Chris Hemsworth himself, who has a cameo as like this sort of stoner TV salesman,
Yeah. But that's my point. You have him in here. Obviously, we know why. Wink, wink. Mm-hmm. He's a producer of it.
Yes.
Even he is winking at the camera. Guys, we're just having fun.
Because he knows.
So even his cameo.
But the rest of them seem to be playing it straight. Even the guy.
No, I don't think they are. You don't have to. You have to say
the lead is.
You can't sit there and judge that whether they're playing it straight or not.
No,
I'm sorry. I was entertained, and I was rolling my eyes.
Yeah,
but that's the point.
I think I would have to be in a lot of times, in my opinion, in a film, well, not completely, but will be affected by the mood I'm in while watching it, and I think I was just sort of. I just wasn't in the mood for this sort of nonsense. And
that could be. And Trevor, I'm the minority because everyone hates this film, and I don't know. If you guys like Commando, which is the stupidest film ever made, but it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And this is it.
Because they know how to
This is our new Commando, and it's free. Watch it on Netflix. It's okay. Like this. So we find out Beaver.
He's a pantomime villain, Beaver. They're all pantomime villains.
He's the bad guy. He betrayed them because he's in the little corridor with her.
I will say Beaver has a good death.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm telling you, you add up the points I'm making, you might be going, okay, maybe. We'll see. Anyways, so Beaver has betrayed her, and he lets them in so they don't have to keep drilling to get in. But how she gets out of it, I thought was kind of fun. So she's tied up, and they're like, oh, and they're having this really bad dialogue. I can't remember it. I mean, seriously, the dialogue's so bad, my IQ dropped.
This makes it like to Tommy Wiseau and Ed Wood look like Alfred Hitchcock's.
Oh, now that's pushing it. But
it's not.
When she's tied up, and then he's talking, I heard you're a soccer player, football player, whatever. And she's like, he goes, were you a striker? Were you this?
Goalkeeper.
Goes, no, I was a goalie. And we had broken ribs. I had sprained ankles. But there's one thing you forgot I got. What's that? Dislocated thumb.
Yeah.
And she dislocates her thumb and gets out of her cuffs and starts beating the shit out of everybody.
Lifted from Lethal Weapon 2, where it's set up at the start of Lethal Weapon 2 that Martin Riggs once broke his arm and that he can dislocate it on a whim And later on, whenever he gets like tied up and thrown in like the water, he breaks his own arm. Yeah.
But come on. And then when she gets in that fight with the big chick, I think it's Kia or Alexa, I can't remember which one it
Something
was.
like that, yeah.
That was a great fight scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's not...
The two chicks. And then she shoves the sealant in her mouth. Oh, the foam sealant. And she shoves it, and she's still alive. And then she shoots her like 4 or 5 times, and she's still getting up.
Yeah.
And then she finds, would you fucking just die already?
Yeah.
And then shoots her, and she falls through
But
the
again,
door.
there was potential here that they could have made this into a real homage to the likes of the 80s cheese that we love. But it's the execution's piss poor. So it is. And, you know, it's just... The guy who plays the main villain... I found there's actually quite a lot of Australian actors in this for some reason, and there's a big Australian connection. And he's actually not too bad.
Of course there is. Chris Hemsworth produced it.
Yeah. But it's I mean, there was potential for making an 80s cheese homage, but it's just the execution for me and right across the board. I mean, there's some dodgy, there's some dodgy CGI as well. You know?
Oh, God, you can't, stop with that. You can't blame it. I think CGI was better than a lot of shit you get in fucking big blockbusters.
Yeah, well.
But my point is, though, is you keep talking about the acting and the script, and I'll give you that. Those are 2 big ones, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But the action scenes, you got to admit, the action scenes are good.
They're not bad. I've seen better, but they're not.
But that's what it's about.
There's a couple of good fight scenes and action scenes and stuff.
There's all great fight scenes, and there
was resort to the cliche of the ticking bomb as well, which I knew they were going to, and I mean, it's just it feels like something that fucking I would have written as a teenager. You know what I mean? I thought it was I'd written the greatest thing ever. Like my own homage to, some Arnie film I'd just watched or something. It just, it's I don't know, it just frustrated me. So it did.
It does disappoint a bit when it comes to the acting, because you have a character called Shaw. He was like the one who's trying to help. He's the one who has kids and all, which he's dead.
Yes. Yeah.
But when the bad guy can't get back into the room, he resorts to sinking the ship. You can sink the base.
Yes.
And so but Shaw can jump in the ocean.
Yes,
get back on there.
That was a good character arc for him. I'll give him that. Where he finally became brave, because he was a bit of a sort of a wimp before that. So
yeah,
kudos for that. If I'm being completely honest, but a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the plot points, it felt like I was watching a bad soap opera. Like The Bold and the Beautiful, or one of those real fucking cheesy ones from like the fucking 80s. Everything just seemed melodramatic and a bit sort of hard to take serious. Even the stuff with obviously sexual assault and sexual harassment is a very serious topic, but it was hard to take serious in this film just because of the delivery of it. It was because even that sort of army major type, he was portrayed as a bit of a sort of, pantomime villain again as well, and it was just hard to buy a lot of it,
Yeah, I do think the flashback should have went with the dad.
Yes, that was
coming
so corny.
to her apartment.
And then they fucking cheated us. We got the supposed big emotional impact of the dad getting his fucking thumbs cut off, and or his thumb cut off, and then killed by the bad guys. And then at the end of it, he pops up again. That's a cheat.
Yeah, that was so bad. At the end, he goes,
"Yeah,
she was dead. I thought you were dead." He's like, "Thank God, the guys, my good friends in the military, were watching the video."
Home.
Yeah, and they came to rescue me.
Yeah.
But that's my point. It's so bad. It's great. And it's so corny because the people you've got there's a live feed, so everyone can see what's happening on the boat, and that's why Chris Hemsworth is watching it on in the TV shop, and so everyone can see what's happening. Mm-hmm. But when I'll give out, we kind of skipped over it. But when Shaw gets killed, trying to fix to delay the sinking by Beaver. The problem I had with that, he was a character who was finally getting his arc, which you just mentioned.
Yes.
But because the acting and the delivery is kind of when he gets it, you kind of don't care.
Yes. Exactly. There's
And you
no
should have
emotional
cared.
weight there to it because of everything that's went before, and it's also very quickly done. There's no real build up to it.
Yeah.
You know. And also Beaver
And then when
pissed me off, not because he was he was just he was so over the top, so much of a, he was, and he portrayed as this sort of, this hick type, sort of far right nut job, and it was just a bit, he was just a bit of a caricature,
Yeah, but you get that in all these films. You always have the one henchman who has no morals. He's like
Michael Ironside in Total Recall. Well, the only difference is Michael Ironside has an amazing presence and connect.
Yeah, this guy's pretty bad. When she goes, you killed him in cold blood. You're a murderer. I'm not a murderer. I'm a fucking patriot. I was like, oh my god.
It was like something
What the fuck does that even mean?
a kid would fucking say. No, what I mean? It was, oh dear. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But this is where it all kind of really starts going. So when Beaver sneaks back in using that hatch, the Ninja Man,
Yes.
she's disappeared. She's gone now. Nobody knows where she is. Well, I knew she was in one of the
It
suits
was
right
obvious
away. It's not
because
exactly
see earlier on in a scene completely nothing to do with the suits, the camera makes a point of showing us the suits. So hear me, the suits are going to come into play later on.
Yeah. So they let everybody, and then they end up putting the sulfuric acid onto all the controls, so you can't hit.
Yes.
There's actually a button that says kill switch.
Yeah.
It's like a.
It's literally
stop
spelled
the
out.
launch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says launch, and a big red button.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the bat phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
I mean, yeah.
But he puts the sulfuric acid on it so she won't be able to hit it. But yeah, they're looking around. Where is she? And this place is tiny. So where could she be? She's in the fridge. No, she's not in the fridge.
Yeah.
Then you find out she's in one of these suits, and she cuts this guy's throat from the back. It's kind of cool. And then obviously the fight begins. And you have Beaver up on the top because they think she went on the top of the roof.
Yes.
And Beaver's like, I can't find her, man. Oh, she's got to be there. And obviously, she's in the suit, and she takes over again.
You know
for
what
the
was really,
third time,
really
I
funny
think.
at this point? Whenever she gets thrown in the sea, and she has like a flashback to her dad going, "Never stop fighting." I think I pissed her, and then
That was awesome.
yeah, and then she she goes, "Yeah, for you, Dad," because at this point she thinks he's dead, and it's it's just like, oh, fucking hell, this is
The best. No, we're not done yet. We got the best. The cool thing is, it's the best death. So Beaver gets,
Yes.
they're fighting on top there, and she wraps barbed wire around his throat, and he's like, "Oh, what's a little barbed wire going to do?" Well, no offense, that barbed wire could kill you, buddy.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think it's going to do quite a bit. I don't know why you don't think that's a threat,
Exactly.
but she goes, "Oh, that's not going to kill you. Gravity."
Yeah.
So she grabs his body, jumps with him into the ocean, and his head gets ripped off.
To be
It's
fair, it did like
awesome.
that because you know what I mean.
That was good.
Yeah, that was
was a good
probably
scene.
the best death and the sort of
The funny thing is, the reason it's the best death is because at least that character, the one you kind of didn't like, at least brought something to it. He was nuts. He was just fucking so when he got it, you did kind of go, yeah.
Well, it
because
was a bit
that's
of
the
a
way
sort of, yeah. I mean, it was just again back to the acting. The guy wasn't very convincing. He's an Australian actor as well. So I don't know.
It's an Australian production, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed I don't know. It was just. Have you ever watched the Australian soap opera Neighbours, which just finished over the last week after 37 years? It's well known. It was well known throughout its
we know
lifetime
it. Yeah.
for bad sort of dodgy sets and ropey acting. It felt like these guys were like the sort of cast of rejects from Neighbours. You know what I mean? A lot of them. I did quite like the main bad guy. Who plays like this sort of the rich kid. Megalomaniac.
He tried to be like the Hans Gruber.
Yes. Yeah.
But okay, so how about this scene? So after she falls in the ocean, she climbs back up,
Yeah.
but she only has one good arm. So she's got a monkey bar. Oh my god! This
Completely
scene,
ridiculous.
my jaw was. She's got a monkey bars, and we're talking big gaps.
Yep.
So she's swinging, jump with just one arm.
Completely preposterous.
And she finally makes it, and she's like, she comes back into the little control center, and she's like, oh.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's it. It was
I'm
just
so
like,
proud.
yeah, like she'd done a press up or something, push up. It was just like no big deal. Yeah, it was completely ridiculous. So it was.
Your arm would be gone.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was just so daft. Although there's a real bit of corniness at the end as well. After all the bad guys have been offed, and the Russian submarine pops up.
Yeah. Well, before that, you have she uses Beaver's computer, which we clearly know about, by the way, at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
It's like, Beaver's like, this is where I keep everything in my control center, right in this laptop.
Because it's all spelled out for us. Yep.
So she's able to set off the missiles using the laptop. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's such a cool scene. You see the missiles being shot down.
I must admit, I did not
nuclear...
feel any tension at all. Despite, even though the ticking bomb was going down to the last, literally went down to the last second, I was not invested in any way with any. There was no tension.
It's too bad the one missiles couldn't hit.
Yeah,
and that would have brought more tension.
Like in Star Wars, where fucking the Death Star the original Star Wars film, where the Death Star blows up Alderaan, then you know that this fucking thing and these guys mean business. You know what I mean? That there is actual stakes here, and that there is a proper threat here. We don't get that here. You know,
the fight on the top with the main bad guy, Kessel. They're fighting, and they're both doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. Yes, and this is what you're talking about. The submarine comes up, dun dun dun, Russian submarine. And this is the worst ending you could have for, especially this kind of film.
Yeah.
So the Russian commander gets out, and he's looking at his bad guy buddy Kessel.
Yeah.
And he's looking at Collins, and all of a sudden a sniper comes behind the Russian and shoots Kessel because he failed his mission.
Yes.
Because obviously we shot down the nuclear weapons, and then the fucker who just tried to kill America, salutes Collins.
Yeah. It was and
decides not to kill her.
Yeah.
Because you've done it. You go, girl.
Yeah, you respect. Yeah, he respected her so much, and it was like, yeah, you go, girl, and completely ridiculous. He just decided that this elaborate plan that they'd been planning for at least 6 years, according to the dialogue, the woman who scuppered this is right in front of him, and he has a chance to kill her, and instead he decides to fucking salute her instead. Fuck off.
I don't know what they were thinking. It would have been better if he was going to try to take a shot, and then because right at this point when the submarine's going down back in the water, the military shows up. They could have gave us something there, like the military shoots him, or something before he's about to shoot her.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this scene, am I supposed to say thank you, Russian, for not killing her?
Absolutely.
Because you just tried to kill fucking America, you fucker.
Completely ridiculous. You know what I mean? And again, it goes back to the child-like writing. It's fucking mental. There was a bit of potential here, but they absolutely bollocksed it up.
And then the Madam President shows up at the hospital.
Ridiculous.
And then they're like, you're working with me now on my national security staff.
Starting Monday. Yeah.
And during the film, she's actively communicating with the White House.
Yeah.
So we know Madam President. But there's this one guy, the Secretary of Defense, was just so over the top.
Yeah.
And always leaning at the camera. And then you have the numbers guy.
Yes. And
remember the little nerdy guy?
Yeah. Yeah. He's like really
He's got a 14% success rate. I don't bank on that.
Yeah. And then at the end of it, he goes 14%, and he's like really impressed. You know what I mean? It's like an 80s action film written by teenagers. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I know Trevor's gonna denounce it, but I'm telling you now, this is one of the most entertaining times I had watching something.
All right, but
it's
for all
an
the
hour
wrong
and a
reasons.
half, and don't get me wrong, it's cheese, it's bad, it's acting, but the action is there. Some cool action scenes. I actually was okay with the effects. I enjoyed it. Guys, we keep saying keep your brain at the door. That's what this is. We keep talking about Now, this is not a big summer blockbuster. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
No,
comparing it to Ambulance.
Leave your brain at the door.
Top
You would have
Gun.
to have a lobotomy to actually get something out of this.
But guys, I hope people listen to this and go, all right, everything that's been said, I'm going to listen to this and go check it out. And then you come out of it going, all right, that was stupid fun. Because that's all this is. And there's nothing wrong with stupid fun. So I'm giving it a little pass here.
Well, for me,
but
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you go for it. Go for it.
Well, for me,
This, by the way, this is the man who thought Return to Salem's Lot was a masterpiece.
but at least it has charm. There's a certain charm to it.
my God.
Right,
Oh.
right. Well, you said that you think it's stupid fun. I also thought it was stupid fun, but without the fun. I just thought it was stupid. You know.
All right.
I'm sorry, Ciaran.
But you agreed you like the action.
I can't give this a pass. It just wasn't enough. Those little glimpses of potential and good action and a couple of cool deaths. You know, one with the gun through the eye and the beheading with the razor wire. It's just not enough to save it. I'm sorry. So I have to be honest.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. That's okay. You know, to each their own, and that's why I wanted to do this one because I was curious where you'd go with it.
Yeah.
Again, guys, it's to each their own. Check it out. It's an hour and a half. Don't get, you know, it's not going to ruin your life. Well, it might some people. But there you go. And if you like Chris Hemsworth, he's in it. So there you go. You can have, you know, get your jollies off if you're a big Hemsworth fan.
Yeah, he's reasonably good in his cameo. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the stoner Brad Pitt played in True Romance.
Yes, he does actually. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up. I just wanted to give it a chance to, and hopefully people will listen to this and maybe give it a shot. It's the number one movie on Netflix.
Is it right? Doesn't say a lot for Netflix viewers, but yeah.
Yeah. Even the director's like, what? That's what he said. He's like, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, even he doesn't take his own film serious. Yeah.
I thought these guys knew they were having fun behind the camera. But you're right. Some of them might have been taking it a little bit too seriously. I think Kessel could have handed it up more. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. Next up, we promise you guys we'll get Dog Soldiers out. We do apologize for the delay on that one. We got some fun stuff coming up as summer progresses, and including something with Mick Garris. Anybody who listens to this podcast knows who Mick Garris is, but we'll certainly dive into that one as the time comes. So keep an eye out, and we'll hopefully keep you guys updated to what's going to be happening exactly with that particular podcast. The new issue of Phantasmagoria is out right now. It's available on Amazon around the world. And Forbidden Planet locally here in Belfast. Yep. Mm-hmm. We appreciate everything, guys. We are still growing slowly, but we're growing. We're not losing followers. We're still gaining them day by day. We greatly appreciate it. Keep bearing with us because we're finding our footing day by day.
Thank you, guys.
That's a wrap.
Yep.
Guys, have a good one. Go relax. Watch a little Interceptor. and enjoy yourself, because I certainly did. But hateful bastard Trevor, you know what he's like.
I have to be honest. You know what I mean? Always, you know.
Where's the body horror? Where's the body horror? Where's Doctor Who?
Where's the
He's not in
surrealism?
this.
Yeah. Come back. Bring back. A Return to Salem's Lot. All is forgiven.
Oh God. All right, guys. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves. We'll chat soon.